So, Blade Runner 2049. Where to begin? I'm gonna do my best to discuss this without spoilers. It's gonna be difficult, but I'm gonna try. There are a lot of films that this is getting compared to. Obviously Arrival, because next film by the same director, also sci-fi. The original Blade Runner, and it's also getting a lot of 2001 comparisons, which I totally understand. I think this film is better than 2001, but that's because I've always thought 2001's a little bit overrated. And honestly, it didn't quite live up to Arrival for me, or the original Blade Runner. But I wasn't disappointed in any way. So the thing about this film, which is the best thing about it and also the worst thing, is that it's a very intellectual film. The whole point of it is to make you think and engage you on that kind of intellectual, philosophical level. And honestly, it does. I think it's one of the most sort of interesting in terms of ideas science fiction films that I've seen in a long time. The thing is, it does that at the sacrifice of engagement with the characters and the story. So personally, I never really got invested much into any or many of the characters, which I kind of feel bad for giving the film a hard time about that, because it obviously wasn't trying that much. Like, the point of the film wasn't to, like, make you cry at the end, or to make you angry with people, or anything like that. It was to make you think. That being said, it is visually absolutely stunning. Roger Deakins! Give him his Oscar! Give it to him now! But beyond those things, you kind of got to talk about it in the sense of what did it make you think about? And for me, there was a lot in there that it made me think about. There is a lot of the stuff from the first Blade Runner of what does it actually mean to be human. And a lot of that stuff, it's very hard to discuss with words, and that's why it's so well discussed with images and ideas up on screen. Something that I've been thinking about a lot, actually, is representations of gender in this film, because I think it's very interesting. I've seen a lot of people who've been saying that it's an incredibly misogynistic film. I don't think so, but I can really see the argument. Really, Blade Runner is a dystopia, and with any dystopia, you take what you can see as problems in the world and you amplify them, and you say, if we keep going in the direction that we're going, where will that take us? And I think that they've sort of played that out in a way that in our sort of modern capitalist society, women become things that sort of need to be obtained. Of course, there's the classic, like, men pursuing women for sex, but there's also to bear a child, and also a kind of image of female companionship. Like, there's this sort of idea of what a perfect female lover, companion is to a person. And that idea itself is commodified. I don't want to talk too much about what actually happens in the film, but in the world of this Blade Runner, you can buy essentially hologram spouses that are just sort of your perfect woman. It's not commodifying anything physical, like physically bearing a child or physical intimacy. It's the idea of companionship from someone of the opposite gender. There's a very interesting scene, which is obviously about, like, when you start to think about it like this, that scene, which people who've seen the film will know, it's the scene with the two women. Actually, that doesn't quite specify it, because there are a few scenes with two women. But there is a scene in which our perfect ideals of what a female companion is are literally projected onto a physical female companion. So yes, I think that it's trying to make some very interesting points about femininity and gender and how it's treated by a modern society, particularly a modern capitalist society. But the thing is, I think it does this at the expense of having female characters that aren't just there to prove the point. Kinda. I'm still working this out. It wasn't very long ago that I saw this film. It's very hard to say things without spoilers, so I'm more than willing to discuss spoiler stuff in the comments. Always make sure, if you're replying to a comment, that the person who you're replying to has seen the film, because I don't want spoilers, which is really weird because I didn't really engage with it at the level of, oh, plot, you've got to keep secret what happens next. Ooh. But I sort of feel like if you go into it knowing everything, you'll get less from it. So in short, I think that the film is absolutely visually mind-blowingly stunning. I think that it was a very cold film, which was intentional, but personally I didn't engage with it at the same level that I did with the original Blade Runner, where I actually kind of engaged with the characters. And also Arrival, which I think managed to perfectly balance big, intelligent sci-fi ideas with really grounded, emotionally involving characters. But I think that it's entirely true to the original spirit of the original Blade Runner. I think it has some absolutely mind-blowing food for thought. I don't personally see it as a sexist film, but I understand where those thoughts are coming from. I'm kind of glad that it wasn't quite as good as I'd been hearing, because I didn't really want this to sweep up all the Oscars, and I don't think it will. I think it'll get the cinematography Oscar because it deserves it, and it probably will get nominations in visual effects and production design, and I think it would deserve winning those as well. But when it comes to the acting Oscars, directing, oh, the score is amazing. The score is fantastic. The music is wonderful. But now I'm getting distracted. So let's make this the end screen. If you want to have spoiler-based discussions, leave them in the comments. There are videos down there with other film-related things I've done. Also, like this if you liked it, because it helps with the algorithm. I definitely recommend you go and see Blade Runner, because it'll definitely make you think about things, but maybe don't expect it to be the amazing film that everyone says it was, even though it kind of was amazing, but it kind of wasn't. I don't know, just go watch it and make your minds up for yourselves.